Alright guys, welcome back to my channel, and today I'm going to be doing What If Deku Had Alchemy Part 3. And I haven't really put that much thought into a what if, except for this one. I mean, I do put a lot of thought into my what ifs, but in some what ifs, not as much. But yeah, basically I'm doing another collab with anime camp. And yeah, also Discord in the description. Like I said before, it's gonna be in the description. And without further ado, let's begin the what if. Alright guys, so basically I'm gonna make an intro eventually later. I mean, I have I'm like not done, I'm semi done with the intro. Just gotta add more things in it. But when I'm done, I'll post it. And yeah, so anyways, let's begin. So where we last left off, we saw that Deku slided down the side of the building with the girl, and Deku fell because Deku fainted from the blood loss and exhaustion. So basically, the girl healed him, but she's not that good at alchemy as she wanted to be. So she basically healed Deku as best as she could. So now we start the heroes start to arrive, and basically the heroes arrive and basically with Endeavor, and they saw that the hero killer must have escaped. So what they did is that they grabbed Deku and took him to the hospital. And basically the hero said, "Wait, who are you, little girl?" And basically she didn't like being called little, but the girl's pretty calm and doesn't go off the handle when she's made fun of. So she basically calmly said that basically, I'll be going now, so don't worry about me, I have no injuries at all. So she then began to walk away, and basically the hero said, "Wait, well, you didn't tell us your name, and you don't have a hero license, so why did you interfere?" And basically, Shiniku then said, "It's none of your concern." So then she jumped she then climbed on the side of the building and just ran atop the rooftops, disappearing into the darkness. So now we skip a couple of days. Well, Deku is in the hospital, and he's Deku's in the hospital. He's mostly fine except for the minor exhaustion. However, because Deku fought with the hero killer stain, doesn't really matter if he's a state alchemist or not. He's still a kid at the end of the day. So they told him to stay in the hospital. So now we see Al repairing the city, as that's what most of the alchemists are actually doing. So once Al was basically in the repairing the city, he hasn't had any time to really see his brother. He only seen him one time. He couldn't really tell him anything because the visiting hours were very short. So then Al remembered what happened. As we go to a couple days ago during the Hosu City attack, as Al was basically repairing the damage with the fire and explosions in Hosu City, and capturing Nomus because she doesn't have the heart to kill anybody, even if they're not even human now. So then Al sees two people that look human that are not running away. And basically Al stops what he's doing, and basically he's on the top of a building. So what he does, that basically he draws a transmutation circle, and then he basically he has a transmutation circle on a piece of paper, and he puts the piece of paper onto the ground and basically makes some stairs with the concrete that's on the side of the building. And he walks down, he runs down, and he asks, wait, why aren't you guys evacuating? This is really a dangerous situation. If you are lost, let me help you. And basically, yeah. So basically, Gluttony said, he looks so tasty. Let me eat him. And basically, Gluttony is drooling with saliva, with his tongue out. He's looking at Al with such a hungry look in his eyes. As basically Lust says, no, Gluttony, he's gonna be a valuable sacrifice in the future. So then basically Gluttony rushed at Al, not really hearing or disregarding what Lust said, as he's too hungry, because he only ate a couple of the people that were injured, like unable to move. He's like and those people lost a lot of flesh and blood, so it didn't really satisfy him. So he basically wanted to eat Al. So basically he lunged at Al. However, Al basically dodged it, as she didn't have transmutation circles on him. So basically he dodged attacks, and basically Al is saying, oh, please stop this, I don't want to hurt any of you. And basically Lust said, well, it wouldn't hurt to test out his abilities. And basically Gluttony is lunging at Al and saying, let me just eat you already. And basically Al kinda had enough of this, so what he did was basically trip Gluttony to kinda stun him. And then he begins to draw a transmutation circle. And then once he's done, because Gluttony is stunned for a while, he basically traps him into a cage. And Al thinking that he's like kind of like a normal human with kind of like eating quirk, or some sort of quirk that makes you stronger. Makes you gives you the ability to basically repel attacks, kind of like Fat Gum's quirk. He basically thinks that this cage is enough. So basically Al then looked back to Gluttony as he turned his back, walking to her, and says, I don't want to hurt any of you. Can you please leave this whole city while you still can? I know that you're villains, but and basically Gluttony just broke the cage and ran at Al with an angry look, as basically Al didn't have enough time, so he blocked. However, it wasn't enough, as basically Gluttony bit Al with his arm. Bit Al on his arm, and what it did, he basically just took took a big chunk of Al's arm and ate it, saying, that may be metal, only metal, but it's still very tasty. And basically Al's thinking, wait, he could his teeth could penetrate metal. If that's the case, then I can't hold back anymore. I have to capture them at the very least, even if I have to hurt them. And basically what he does is that he basically has some gloves, and his fire is not very as perfected as Deku was. So he puts the gloves on, and he begins to shoot kind of like a fire ring around the area. Around Gluttony and Lust. So it basically he thinks that it's basically gonna stop them from moving. From getting away. So then basically, yeah, gluttony basically gluttony thinking that they had enough fun for the day. For the day, she basically extends her nails, and I don't know, extends her fingers, and basically shoots them at Al, and basically you know Lus doesn't know that's Al's medium. She knows that there's a medium somewhere, but basically Al blocked, but it wasn't enough, so it penetrated right through Al's arms, and it grazed Al's medium. And basically Al saw a flash of light as everything turns black for a quick second, as he basically was in a room with a man, with a figure, which is a white figure. Well, no, not a white figure. He was in a room with someone that looked exactly like him when he had his body back. When he had his body. So basically, Al's confused, and he's like, "Wait, you're my body," Al says in a very happy but kind of sad voice, as he tries to run at his body to get it back. However, the hands basically catch Al and just drag him into a gate. As this is happening, Al is remembering what he saw back then. He is having flashes of memories of all that he saw, the secret of alchemy, everything. And then the second that he was in when he was in the truth, that was only a second on the outside world. So he then gained back consciousness, and then he basically remembered how to do it. So he claps his hands, and he basically touches the ground and makes a huge cage. Makes pillars, and tries to attack. But however, by the time that happened, they're already gone. So now we see Hatsume arrive as she heard about the Hosu city being attacked. So she came there to basically test out her inventions, and to see what type of what is attacking Hosu city, being a little curious herself. So she sees someone with armor, somebody wearing armor, not that huge armor, like not Al's armor, but it's still armor, someone wearing armor, as the armor is kind of damaged. So she then runs at the person, and she's basically like, "Whoa, is that your hero costume? You look super cool." And basically Al's confused, and Elle says, "No, I'm not a hero, I'm an alchemist." And basically they talk, and Hasme repairs Al's body. Repairs Al's body, and even gives him a few modifications to his armor. So basically Al doesn't tell her about the incident where he lost his body. She could probably, she sees it, but she doesn't really know. It's kind of like a mystery to her, and a little bond forms with them, and you'll see that soon enough. So now we go back to the present, as Al basically Al is basically thinking about it, as he saw when he basically hit the person, Lust, or the girl, the woman that was there, when he was fighting gluttony. When he was shooting fire around the area, it hit Lust, and he saw Lust regenerate, as he saw her core, because when he was shooting fire, it wasn't as refined as Deku. So when he first shot it out, it hit Lust in the chest, and he sees Lust's core. And he saw it was a philosopher's stone. So he shakes with excitement. He shakes with excitement as he remembers what happened. Then he thinks, wait a minute, we can actually get our bodies back. This is a chance for me and Deku. But then at the same time, I'm confused. And I'm confused. Not only did I see my original body, I saw how to get I saw the philosopher's stone inside of a human body. Inside of a body. I don't know how that could be possible. And basically, yeah. So Al is Al's finished, basically repairing Hosu City, as now that he knows how to use his two-handed alchemy, basically, it's much more easier. So now we skip to Deku being out of the hospital, in two more days or so, because 5 days passed and he was fine, so they just let him out because they think that he recovered. So basically now they're getting groceries. Yeah, they're basically getting groceries, and basically Al's planning to tell him soon about what he saw. And yeah, they're getting groceries from the grocery store, and basically a figure, or some sort of a girl basically said, "Oh, I found you," as she's running at
the girl
at
that
Deku.
yelled pretty much accidentally tripped onto Deku. As they going down to the ground, as Deku didn't expect her to trip on him, pretty much they fall onto the ground. As they hit the ground, as Deku says, "Ow, what was that for, you little?" And then before he could finish, he just sees that it's the same girl that helped him in the stain fight. As he says, wait a second, are you the girl?" As then he sees that she is red all over her face. As then she jumps up. As Deku then just gets a helping hand from Al to get up. This girl then just says, "I'm sorry about that," trying to get herself more composed now. As then she just says, "I did not mean to trip on you. Anyway, I suppose you remember me from the stain fight." As Deku says, "Yeah," still confused. Now, Al is just looking over at her and to Deku, and he's doing that rapidly. So, he just is very confused right now of what is going on. Then he remembers back to Deku telling him about this girl that helped him during the stain fight. As then he picks up on it, as he just says, "Oh, are you the girl that helped my big brother?" As she just says, "Brother? Oh yes. Yes I am." As Deku then just says, "By the way, I wanted to ask you, what was that weird alchemy that you were using?" As then she would say, "Alchemy? What's that?" It kind of sounds like it kind of sounds like alchemy. Then, Deku's saying, "What's alchemy?" Al then repeating what his brother said and says, "Yeah, what is it? I mean, we've never heard of that before." As she just says, "Oh, I suppose that we must have two different types then." As Deku then just says, "Types." As then she looks around and then she says, "Can we take this a bit to a place a bit more private?" As Deku says, "Yeah, but we're just gonna finish our shopping." As then she said, "Yes, that's fine." As they finish off the shopping, as they go into a private alley. As then she just says, "So, as Deku then just says, what did you mean by two different types?" As then she says, I did read up on that alchemy that you speak of. Well, I'm not too sure what it is, but all I got from it was equivalent exchange, correct? As he says, yeah, that's pretty much the basic. But um, yeah, that's the basic alchemy, yeah. As then she says, yes. Well, alchemy is nothing like it. Alchemy is connecting to the dragon pulse. As then, pretty much, Al says the dragon pulse, very confused. As then she says, yes, the way alchemy works is we connect to the dragon pulse and it surges us with power. Pretty much, it allows us to do what you saw earlier. Deku having a flashback to this girl healing him, and also her throwing kunais at Stain. As he remembers the explosion, as he says, "Yeah, what was that? I mean, you just threw five weird kunai, and there was a weird transmutation circle." As then she says, yes, that was the Dragon Pulse. As then Deku just thinks of what she did with her feet. She did it in a weird circle, and pretty much it was the same shape as the transmutation circle that appeared when she threw 5 kunai. As Ao is asking again, what is the Dragon Pulse? Then she says, I do not know exactly what the Dragon Pulse is, but it feels like a source of life for me. As then Ao just asks again, what do you mean by that? As Deku says, wait a second. So I'm guessing there's different types of alchemy in different places. Is that what you mean by types? As then she says yes. Though I do not know about other things. I definitely know about the whole equivalent exchange bit. I only read up on it briefly though. So can you explain more? As then Al explains the basics of alchemy. As then she nods her head in not in agreement, but that she understands. As then Deku then just asks what's her name. As then she says, oh, my name is Shiniku. What is yours? As Deku says, my name is Zuku, or Deku, for sure, or Deku. As then Al introduces himself as Alphonse or Al. So yeah. So, yeah. So pretty much, yeah. Then Shiniku then asks, wait a second. So, if I'm getting this right, then you have to make this circle to transmute stuff. As Al nods his head, but then how did Deku not have to use that? As Deku and Al look at each other and then look back and says, well, you see, there was a thing a while back that allowed us to that allowed me to pretty much not need a transmutation circle. The only thing that I need a transmutation circle now for is for fire alchemy, or ice alchemy, but I'm not that good with that one. As Shiniku asks, wait, so there's different types of alchemy? So there's like fire and ice? What does that mean? As Deku says, well, you see, a while back, well, not a while back, I've recently been taught fire alchemy and ice alchemy. One by called Mustang, who is my boss, and another by my boss, and another by just reading. As Alphonse says, have learnt recently the fire alchemy. The ice alchemy I have not. As Deku then just says, "Oh right, Al, I forgot to tell you about Stain's alchemy." As then he explains what he thinks that Stain's weird alchemy was. As this surprised Shinoku, as she was going to tell him the exact same thing. As then she says, "So I guess we came to the same conclusion then." As then Deku looks over and says, "So you came with the same you came up with the same um yeah, you came up with the same idea." As then she says, "Yes." That's the only way to explain it, I think. As pretty much Al then just says, "Brother, can I no. He would say, "Shinoku, it's nice to meet you and all, but I have to talk to my brother about something." As then she says, "Oh, and what is that?" As Al just says that it's very important to the both of them. Deku being confused by this. As Shinoku says, "Oh, very well. I will leave you two to do what you were doing then." As then she walked away. As Deku says, So what did you find out?" As then he said, "I meant to tell you this sooner, but you were still in the hospital by that point, so I wanted to save it for now." As he says, "Okay, so what did you..." And then before he could say anything, uh, Al then just says, "I think I found a philosopher's stone." But anyway, guys, I'm gonna leave my path here. Here. So yeah, and pretty much, yeah, I'm just gonna leave off here.